What do you do when everything around you just seems so uncertain, when the world is in chaos and you're unsure of where to turn or what to do next? How do you find the peace and the direction that you need? In 1 Kings 17, verse 1 to 7, we see the Lord giving Prophet Elijah specific instructions during a season of famine. He doesn't just tell Elijah where to go, he also provides everything that Elijah needs: the food, the water, and the protection. This is a very powerful reminder that when God sends you somewhere, He doesn't abandon you. The fact that He is guiding you is proof that He is a God of provision and protection. You are safe where God is, you are safe where God speaks, and you are safe under the instructions of Him as long as you obey. This just reminds me of a time here in China, when there was COVID, the whole world was panicking, everybody was panicking. We just thought like we're going to die and catch the virus. But God protected us, specifically for us international students. I did not hear of any case where an international student got the virus. It's not because we were under lockdown or because we were being protected by our schools or wherever that we were staying. No, God just decided to protect us and to show us His mercy. There are so many people that took the right precautions but ended up catching the virus. They even ended up dying. You know, so many things are shut down: the airports, the malls, and all that. The world just shut down, and all we had was each other. And during that period, a lot of people surrendered to God. Nobody wanted to die. We were all afraid for our lives. We all needed some form of comfort or reassurance that everything was going to be okay. Our governments tried to do everything they could to stabilize the situation, but at some point, it just kept on getting worse and worse and worse. Some of us even started losing hope, especially for us in China, like, because the way the virus was spreading and the way things were getting shut down, people back home are panicking because they're in a whole different continent. They don't know how we are doing. They don't know how we are receiving the food supplies and all that. But all we had was each other. All we had to do is that we had to surrender to a higher power, because we could see that the government was trying all they could to stabilize the situation, but it was getting worse and worse and worse. And we had to surrender to a higher power, which is the Lord Jesus. And I think during that time, it just made us realize that all we have is each other. And during that period, I just learned something about, humility. Yeah. God wants to lead you and is interested in you. You just have to obey and wait on Him. The things of God might look foolish, and that is fine, because many of the times we've seen certain things and we've had certain experiences that we know can only be attributed to God. But once you share it with others, people think you're crazy. There's some of us that have just experienced unusual blessings or unusual favor or just certain things that have happened. I've been like, but how did I get this job? I'm underqualified for this job, for this position. How did I get it? There's some of you, like, when people look at you, they're just like, that person, she doesn't look qualified for that. How come she got the job? How come she managed to achieve what she's achieved? It's just something that you can't explain. Even when you tell people, they're like, no, you can't do this, not you, we know you. Like they're estimating you, but they don't know who is in you and they don't know the God that you carry. We are so quick to move, we are so quick to leave people because we're operating from a place of pain and a place of fear. We shouldn't keep up with this world. We should learn to move like at our own pace, and always know like what's within us. Learn to keep up with what's within you. Focus on where you're going. You're moving with so much speed and no clear direction. You don't even know where you're going. Some of you are like 30, 50, 70, 20 years old. You still don't know who you are. You still don't even know what your values are. You don't even know what your purpose is. You don't even know where you're going. There is a type of courage and strength and boldness that is only empowered by God. When you look at the story of David and Goliath in the Bible, honestly, it's something that always puzzles me. David was just a young man, yet he was full of courage. He knew that God was with him. He knew the God that was in him. You can see through the strength and the courage he had that it was just empowered by God. David was just a young man who took care of his father's, sheep. But you can tell that he was exceptional because there was no way at his age he could attack a lion and a bear. He had so much faith. He even said, if the Lord saved me from the lion and the bear, he will surely save me from Goliath. Because everybody was looking at him like, who is this small boy that wants to fight this giant? But David was like, no, if God protected me from the lion and the bear, you people, when you think about someone who can wrestle with a lion and a bear, or you just the thought of it alone is just so, like it's just mind blowing. Like in today's world, who can go against a bear? Who can go against a lion? The moment we see a lion, all of us were running away. But David was a man that wrestled with lions. He used to say like he would protect the animals when he sees the animals, when he sees the bears and the lions attacking the animals that he used to look after. He would go after them and kill them. And that just shows you like this was a young boy. Where did he get the strength to fight a bear and a lion? And even when he wanted to take up, like Goliath, to go against Goliath, a lot of people, I'm sure, they were looking at him like, what is this small boy doing? This Goliath has killed so many people. Everybody is scared of him. Even the army was scared of Goliath. Who does this boy think he is? But he knew what he carried. The confidence you need to make certain decisions is in your history. Just take time to reflect on your life, your desires, your friendships, and your behavior. The courage he had was from God. And prior to that, you can see that David was anointed as king. And immediately he was anointed, the Bible tells us that the Spirit of the Lord took control over him. David already knew who he was, even before that time came for him to defeat Goliath. Even his own family forgot that David was anointed as king. Because when David went to see his brother, when his brother saw David, asking the people that, what has King Saul promised to the person that is going to kill Goliath and all of that. The brother was like, what are you doing here? He was so upset because he just saw David as a little boy and he was trying to protect David, which every brother can do. But he forgot that when you look back in the past, he was there when David was being anointed. He forgot that this man has been anointed. You know, some of you are so confused, you don't even know what to do because the confidence you need to make a decision is in your history. Just separate yourself, seek God, and ask yourself questions. You can't make a life altering decision in the midst of so much outside noise. You need to be in isolation and reflect on it. So, wherever you find yourself today feeling lost, uncertain, or unsure of the next step, know that God has already been faithful in your past. He will continue to be faithful to you in the future. The same God who provided for Elijah in the famine and gave David the courage to face Goliath is the same God that is with you right now. His guidance and His provision will not fail. Take a moment, just pause, pray and reflect on the faithfulness you've already experienced. Because sometimes we forget that when you look back in your life, there are certain experiences that you know that I don't even know how I survived that. I don't even know how I overcame that depression. I don't even know how I got to a place where I'm now happy, where I'm now living in so much abundance. Sometimes we forget that God has carried us through certain, seasons of our lives where we just felt like, I need to end my life. Life is not worth living anymore. So just look in your history. Some of you are just feeling so confused. You don't know what to go, you don't know what to do. But look in your history. The answer that you need, the courage, the boldness that you need is in the history. There is a pattern. And you just need to isolate yourself. Ask God. Pray to God. Seek God. But also look in your history. You know, just take a moment, to pray, to process everything that's been going on. Trust that the confidence to make the next decision is not found in the chaos around you, but in the stillness of His presence and the quiet whisper of His voice. You don't have all the answers today, but as long as you trust, obey, and wait on God, you are right where you need to be. God hasn't brought you this far to leave you. God did not bring you this far to abandon you or to live in a state of confusion. No, He is a God of provision, protection, and perfect timing. So stand firm in your faith. Be bold in your obedience. When God tells you to leave, you leave. When God tells you to stay, stay. And know that He is leading you to greater things. You are safe, you are covered, and you are not alone. Understand that everything that is happening in your life right now, it might not make sense. It just seems so. You're just like, God, how can you even allow this to happen to me? But look within you. You know that God can never fail and He's not going to start now and He's not going to start with you. And also know that you're not the only person to go through what you're going through. There have there are people that have gone through the things they have gone through. You know, there are people in the past that have gone through those things, and there are people in the present that are going through those things, and there are people in the future that will go through those things. You are not alone. You are not the first one. Don't focus on the problem. Focus on where you're going. Focus on the lesson. What is God trying to teach you in this season of your life? Some of you have got trust issues, so God has put you in position that you can trust Him. Some of you are so self-centered, so God has put you in a position that is going to make you selfless. Some of you are suffering from low self-esteem, confidence, all of these things. God has put you in positions to uplift you, to help you with your confidence, but you don't even see it because you are focusing so much on the outside noise. Look within you. God is with you, and just trust the process.